nice warm day. I don't think it's going to rain here. The gate is just about set. 2 motos to decide the 500cc national crown. Jim Holly, it's all on the line.
Well, it's important for Stanton to get a hole shot here, and important for LaRocco to stay up. There's 40 guys out there, and they're all pushing and shoving into that first turn.
Indeed, and each of the 40 know, they just know deep in their mind that they're going to be the rider that comes out with that #1 position. But I'll tell you who it is. It is Lance Smale. Privateer has grabbed the hole shot. He's followed by Jeff Stanton with LaRocco in tow. So the 2 good guys that are leading the championship, plus the 3rd guy who is the defending champ, that would be Kiedrowski, although he's out of this points chase, are running up close to the front. Stanton has already taken over the #1 spot. He needs to build a lead early.
Well, he's setting the pace, and he's setting a mean pace. He has to pull out. He's going to gain any points and pull away from LaRocco. He's going to have to do it now, and he's going to have to break free from the rest of the pack there. On the other hand, LaRocco, he's got to get around his teammate Kiedrowski, and I don't think he'll have too much problem with that. If Kawasaki told him, hey, if LaRocco's behind you, let him by.
Jim, you're alluding to the fact that team tactics might come into play, and I have to tell you that I have only heard riders and team managers say there is no such thing. It's every man for himself on that racetrack.
Well, I've been a rider, and I've had team managers walk up to me and tell me, hey, you're out in front, move over, we want the championship.
So you're saying that Kiedrowski just might get out of LaRocco's way. Wouldn't surprise me. If I'm Roy Turner, manager of Team Kawasaki, I'd have had a heart-to-heart talk and said, hey, title is at stake, stay out of Mike LaRocco's way. Will he do it? We'll find out when we come back to Steel City, USA. Welcome back to Cycle World and the season finale of the AMA National Championship Motocross Series. It's just about over. Mike LaRocco, rider #5, 1 year ago at this same track, all but had the 125cc national title wrapped up. He came away with 0 points. He won absolutely nothing, lost the championship. Earlier, had a chance to talk with Mike and asked him, is he maybe thinking about that race a year ago?
Yeah, I just kept myself busy all week, so I didn't think about it. And I'm just going to go out here and, take it like it's another race. And hopefully do what I've been doing in earlier races.
I guess the main idea is to stay out of trouble and make sure you nail it down.
Well, I think the main idea for me is to get the whole shot, get out in front, and, win the race. If I can get out in front and stay away from anything that could possibly happen, I think I'd be better off.
Kind of exciting, the thought of your very first title, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely got to get this one under my belt. After last year, make sure I don't win that much more. So I'm going to go out and give it what I got. Hopefully I'll have that title.
I have to think, Jim, that it's tough to drive that out of your mind. Gaining no points in 2 motos and effectively lost that title. Got to be running through his mind again. I don't think he can just drive that out. But here's Mike Kiedrowski. Meanwhile, Kiedrowski, as we said earlier, would maybe cut a little bit of slack for Mike LaRocco. It's not happening. He's up there battling now for the lead. He sweeps to the outside of Stanton and takes over the #1 position here in Moto #1, dropping Stanton back to second, and LaRocco now running third. LaRocco needs the points. He needs to be up there where Kiedrowski is.
Well, Kiedrowski did a good thing by passing Stanton. That drops Stanton back. That loses Stanton 3 more points to LaRocco. So maybe Turner said, if you're not going to let LaRocco by, then at least win the race.
Boy, you're digging deep for that. Here's another look. What happened?
Here, Kiedrowski's just riding real aggressive. He launches off that jump. He's just going to flat drive right around the outside of Stanton. It's going to set him up good for the next corner. He's going to be on the inside. Stanton tries to drift a little bit. Kiedrowski's already made the pass. He's got the inside line, and he's gone.
So with that pass, all reference to what we were talking about earlier with Stanton winning both motos and LaRocco needing a second and third, that's all out the window. Kiedrowski now with the #1 position. That changes the points game significantly. LaRocco can afford to finish well behind the second and third. Now, we also talked with Jeff Stanton earlier today. Asked Stanton what he was going to do to try to wrest that points lead away from LaRocco and win the title.
Well, I just have to go out and win the race. That's all I can do. If I can win both motos, can't control what happens behind me. So all I can do is control myself and go out there and try to win both motos. Unfortunately, it hasn't gone, the whole year hasn't gone the way I wanted it to, but that's racing.
Yeah, but this is kind of reminiscent. The same thing you told me in Los Angeles before the Supercross title.
Yeah, well, that's what I got in the back of my head, but you know, that was a miracle work for me, so hopefully somebody has the same thing planned here. Like I said, I just need to go out and win the race.
Does this particular track suit your style, your purpose? How is the track looking for your try at this time?
It looks great. I really like this track. They did a great job of preparing it with all the rain we had and everything. I just hope to go out there and get a good start and, you know, walk away from those guys.
Well, the reference that Jeff made to Los Angeles goes back to 1992 when it looked like he was out of the chase for the Supercross championship. He went on to win that race, and the guys behind him, of course, would decide the title, and that was Bradshaw, who choked, and that's what Stan was hoping for here. Meanwhile, back in the number 4 and 5 position, Steve Lamson and Mike Healy going at it. Healy has not ridden in this country much the past couple of years, but he's doing pretty well out here today.
He's been riding in Europe a lot. This track suits him. It's designed a little bit like a European course. It's got a lot of uphills and downhills, off-camber. It's really hard and dry in some spots, but yet it's loamy in others. So I think he's going to fare really well here today.
Mike Kidrowski is faring better than anyone at this point. He has taken over the number 1 position as of about a lap ago and holds that spot. And I'm still having trouble in my mind understanding why he did not give way earlier to Mike LaRocco. However, the situation is well under control. Kidrowski out front, LaRocco running back in 3rd, and Stanton in 2nd. I guess actually the race is really being controlled by LaRocco at this point, if you want to call it that, because he's well in position to determine the outcome of the race. He can make a run at Stanton, or he can hold that spot and just collect the points and go on to motor number 2. Cliff Palmer, rider number 20, the KTM factory ace, has held his own this moto. He's currently running in the number 7 position. In front of him, Lance Smale in 6th. 5th, of course, is Healy. Then up to 4th, Steve Lamson, and on up the line to our leaders and contenders for the national championship. I've got to wonder as we watch Cliff Palmer, what is running through LaRocco's mind. You've been in that position. What is he thinking about?
Well, I think he knows he's running 3rd right now, and he's just going to keep it right there. He knows Stanton's right ahead of him. He's only going to lose a couple points to him at this point. He knows his teammate, Mike Kidrowski's out in front. Getting to your fact on Mike Kidrowski, why is he out in front? He's had a bad year in the 500s here. He wants to go out in this last race and prove to everyone why he has that number 1 plate on his bike.
Well, again, that bad year, the result of a crash that took place in the final race of the 250cc championship season, kept Kidrowski out of this one. But we'll be back to wrap up the moto after this. Delmont, Pennsylvania, the scene of the season finale of the AMA National Championship Motocross Series. Here on Cycle World, we're watching Mike Kidrowski a little bit sideways as he leads moto number 1 in the 500cc National Championship chase. Behind Kidrowski now are the contenders for the title. Running in 2nd place is Stanton. 3rd place belongs to Mike LaRocco. Now, Kidrowski has had what I'd have to call a very successful season. So far, he has wrapped up the 250cc outdoor title. He was injured in the last race of the year, as we have mentioned a couple of times, and that really has prevented him from doing as well as he would have liked to in this 500cc championship chase. Not really able to defend his crown. Did well in Supercross. He finished 2nd overall and took that title chase down to the wire with Jeremy McGrath. Earlier in talking with Mike Kidrowski, I had the opportunity to ask him, Mike, what do you favor, Supercross or outdoor nationals? You do well in both. What is the difference?
I think, you know, it just has to go on a rider's, if a rider's good in Supercross, he's good on outdoor. If he likes to go fast or he likes to go slow and jump. You know, it has a lot of variations. I think it just depends on what the rider likes most of all. To me, right now, at the point in my career, either one is fine with me. I seem to do better on outdoor nationals, but on the other hand, I don't mind racing Supercross. I enjoy it the same. I think your bikes have to be set up properly for Supercross in order to do, you know, what you want it to do, and the motors have to be set up right and stuff like that. And you have to make a lot of luck and stuff in Supercross, and some riders can do that, some riders can't. And I think you have to be more physically fit and stuff for outdoors. Supercross is 20 minutes, you're done. You go for the next weekend, where outdoors you have a little more time. You know, it takes more of the bike, takes more of the rider and stuff like that to put it all together for that hour and say 10 minutes you're out there, so you got a little bit more time.
So Mike Kiedrowski obviously favoring outdoor championship motocross to the rigors of Supercross. Meanwhile, Jeff Stanton has closed the gap, and he's right behind Mike Kiedrowski. You can see a battle for this #1 position before this is over.
I think you're most definitely right there, Larry. Stanton has definitely closed in on Kiedrowski. I don't know if Kiedrowski's slowing or Stanton's just picking up the pace. I'd have to say Stanton's picking up the pace because he knows time's running out for him, and he's going to have to do something desperate here to make up the time and catch up to Kiedrowski. I mean, he just rides. Look at that right there. He's just riding the wheels off that 500. He's just he's pushing it for everything he's got. He knows that that's the championship on the line. If he can get ahead of Kiedrowski, he's going to gain 3 more valuable points.
Yeah, the way it stands right now, he's going to pick up just a couple of points in the title chase. He's running in the #2 position. Larocco is in 3rd and went into this thing like 9 points apart. So 2 points is really rather insignificant in this 500cc class at this point in time. However, if he could pass Kiedrowski, then he would gain about 5 points if positions stayed where they were. So that would really make that second moto interesting, and it would definitely boil that championship right down to it. Kiedrowski, though, having no part of it. He can feel Stanton back there. He looks over his shoulder quickly. He saw him, and all he's going to do right now is stay on the gas. As you pointed out, something to prove. He does not want to lose this moto at this stage of the game.
Well, that, and also in the back of his mind, he's probably relating back to the fact that Roy Turner said, you better either let Larocco by or you better win this moto. So he better win this thing.
Well, I don't want to get into that confusing situation again. The fact of the matter is, with Kiedrowski out front controlling the tempo of the race, he's actually aiding his partner's cause, who is running back, and there he is, aiding Mike Larocco's cause, who is setting in 3rd. So I think what you were trying to say is if Larocco can't win it, then Kiedrowski had better win it and keep Stanton from getting all those points. Stanton, meanwhile, is doing everything he can to put the Honda up closer to the Kawasaki. The lap riders are getting out of the way. They see them and hear them coming, and they're moving over, so they're giving him a good track to run at Kiedrowski out.
Well, the lap has got out of everyone's way. Kiedrowski takes the checkered flag here. Unfortunately for Stanton, time runs out, man.
Well, if it were at the start of the season, that would not have been a bad race at all, but look at the disgust. Stanton takes the goggles off. He flings them down the side. I think if there had been someone standing there, he'd been happy to throw the goggles at them, but he's going to go back to the Honda pits and mull things over. Meanwhile, Mike Larocco will take 3rd place points, and for him, it's a good drive toward the championship. That's really where he needs to be. Win went to Kiedrowski, then Stanton, Larocco. Lamson could have been the factor there. If he could have finished ahead of Larocco, it would have aided Stanton's cause significantly. The way it stands right now, though, it will be just 7 points separating the two as they go into that final moto. Meanwhile, trackside, Mike Larocco has pulled off. Let's hear what he has to say.